Good day, passengers. Welcome aboard flight SG-01, bound for the Lion City, Singapore. Please fasten your seatbelts because we're about to touch down in the land of one of the coolest countries in the world.
Today's question is simple. You know Singapore or not? From perfect English to perfect Singlish, from service culture to the culture of Singapore, we're about to explore a country that's small in size but definitely rich in history.
One popular theory about how Singapore got its name comes from the Sejarah Melayu. According to the legend, a Sumatran prince named Sang Nila Utama spotted a mysterious animal upon arriving on the island, an animal he believed to be a lion. Inspired, he renamed the island Singapura, which comes from Sanskrit. Singa means lion, and Pura means city. And that's how Singapore got its name, the Lion City, even though lions were never actually native to the region. Singapore is a small but powerful island city-state in Southeast Asia, located between Malaysia and Indonesia. It has a population of around 5.9 million as of 2024, living within just 735.7 square kilometers, making it one of the most densely populated places in the world. Singapore follows a parliamentary republic system and is known for its strict laws, efficiency, and stable governance. Its current Prime Minister is Lee Hsien Loong, who has served since 2004 and is the son of founding leader of Lee Kuan Yew. The population is ethnically diverse, with Chinese as the majority group, followed by Malays, Indians, and others reflecting its multicultural identity. What is our geographic location? Singapore it is located at the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, right along the Straits of Malacca, one of the busiest and most important shipping lanes in the world. About one-third of global trade passes through this route and making Singapore a key gateway between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific. Second, global trade and connectivity hub. It serves as a major port, financial center, and logistics hub for Asia and the world. Its world-class infrastructure and efficient governance attract multinational corporations, regional headquarters, and global investors. Lastly, political stability and neutral diplomacy. Singapore is known for its neutral, pro-trade and rules-based foreign policy, allowing it to host high-level diplomatic events and maintain strong relations with major powers like US, China, and ASEAN countries.
Did you know the government, initially led by the Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, which is the original founder of the modern Singapore, had an enormous task of transforming this tiny nation of Singapore into a functioning, viable state. Over 3 decades, from 1959 to 1990, he remained in service to the country until he passed away in 2015 at the age of 91. Here we have a brief timeline of the important events in Singapore. During February 6, 1819, marked the founding of Singapore as a British colony from a small fishing village. Then, during around 1867, the British transferred its control to the East India Company, thus getting the crown status. And during 1963, the British ended its control at Southeast Asia, and the countries of Singapore, Malaya, which is the old name for Malaysia, Sabah, and Sarawak merged into the Federation of Malaysia. But 2 years later, they became an independent country during the 9th of August 1965, and that also marks the Independence Day of Singapore. And another 2 years later, the British left the Southeast Asia entirely, and Singapore could now allocate all its funds to itself.
Now, let's talk about the culture of Singapore or what makes Singapore Singapore. Funnily enough, for some people, when they think of Singapore, they mistakenly assume it's a Chinese country or part of the country China. A funny example of this was during a US congressional hearing with TikTok CEO Mr. Chu, who is Singaporean. One lawmaker repeatedly questioned him as if he was part of Chinese Communist Party, highlighting a common misunderstanding. In reality, Singapore is proudly multicultural, with three major ethnic groups: Chinese, Malay, and Indian. They form a unique and unified Singaporean identity built on mutual respect and diversity. So, tip number one is you should become aware of this fact so you won't offend the locals. Singapore's bilingual policy requires students to learn English as the main language for education, business, and inter-ethnic communication, while also studying their ethnic mother tongue. For instance, Mandarin or Hokkien for Chinese, Malay for Malays, and Tamil for Indians. This helps preserve cultural roots while ensuring national unity through a common working language. And next is Singlish. Singlish is Singapore's local way of speaking English, blended with Chinese, Malay, and Tamil expressions. It's informal and very relatable to locals, especially in everyday conversations. So tip number two is understand Singlish but do not overuse it. Learning fun phrases like la, can, or not, and aya can help you connect with people. But don't force the accent or try to speak it too much, especially in formal settings. It might come off as cringy or disrespectful if you're not careful. Now, about this meme, it's from a local film, and the guy goes, I'm a photographer, la. I walk along to take a photo on the street and I saw you, it became viral because of how awkward and dramatic it was using la in almost every sentence. If you're Filipino, it's like someone saying, Hay nako non-stop. Like, pagod ka na, hay nako, gutom ka pa, hay nako. Like, it sounds kind of weird. So yeah, please do not be like that. Appreciate Singlish, laugh with it, but do not try too hard. As someone who lived in Singapore and has lots of Singaporean friends, I can say you look weird or trying too hard if you fake it, and you might offend other Singaporeans. Our next tip is be open-minded and curious when exploring Singapore's culture. Know their religions, try out where locals eat, and join their festivals. Singapore is religiously diverse. Buddhists make up the largest, followed by Muslims, Christians, Hindus, and those with no religion. And next, we have the hawker centers, which are a big part of local life. Lively, affordable food courts where people from all backgrounds gather. When I used to live in Singapore, we'd say chop to reserve a table, usually by placing a tissue packet, umbrella, or even a card on a seat. Chop means from the Malay word kop or chop, which means to stamp or mark something. So in Singlish, it means I reserved this spot. So when you see a tissue, someone already has chopped it. And as for festivals, Singapore celebrates Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, and Deepavali with vibrant lights and street performances. By staying curious and respectful, you'll better appreciate how vibrant Singapore really is.
Let's talk about kasu, or fear of losing. It is a term unique to Singaporeans. This mindset drives people to be highly competitive, especially in areas like education and work. For example, many students take multiple tuition classes on top of regular classes because they fear falling behind their peers. As shown in the illustration, this mentality of if others are doing it, I must do it too, is very common. Next is pragmatism. Singaporeans are known for their practical approach to problem solving, always focusing on what works best rather than being driven by ideology or emotions. As Singapore's founding Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew once said, I'm not here to play somebody else's game. I have a few million people lives to account for. This quote perfectly reflects the country's pragmatic governance style. Another important aspect of Singapore's deep culture is collectivism and social responsibility. In Singapore, the group's welfare often takes priority over individuals' interests. This is reflected in people's strong sense of duty to obey law, respect authority, and contribute to the well-being of the society. On the other hand, meritocracy plays a key role as well in Singapore's success, because it is largely determined by one's ability and hard work rather than by family's background or privilege. The belief is the most talented and hardworking individuals should rise to the top regardless of their social class. As shown here, the combination of collectivism and meritocracy shapes much of Singapore's society. Lastly, Singapore is well known for its strict discipline and laws. The country is humorously called a fine city because of the many fines imposed for even minor offenses like feeding birds, spitting, littering, or chewing gum. These laws are strictly enforced to maintain the country's cleanliness, orderliness, and safety. For instance, littering can cost fines of 1,000 Singapore dollars or more for repeat offenders. Singapore also earned the title of the world's cleanest and greatest city according to Time Out magazine. In some cases, Singapore enforces some of the strictest laws in the world. There is death penalty for severe crimes such as murder, terrorism, and certain drug offenses. For example, possession of more than 15 grams of heroin or more than 500 grams of cannabis can result in capital punishment. These strict laws reflect to Singapore's strong commitment to maintaining public order and safety. Moreover, Singapore is often known for its unique law banning chewing gum, or so many believe. Contrary to popular belief, chewing gum itself is not illegal in Singapore. What's actually banned is the sale and import of gum, not the act of chewing it. Only disposing it improperly can lead to fines. Visitors are allowed to bring in small amounts for personal use, and even some Singaporeans purchase it overseas. As long as the amount isn't excessive, custom typically don't question it. The ban began in the early 1990s after gum was found jamming MRT train station doors. Causing delays to prevent such issues, the government enforced strict rules.